and say, welcome to the Unitarian Church in Fall River. Our guest minister this morning is the Reverend Ken Langer, and his sermon is called The Sanctity of Elections. And this would have been on the cover of the order of service. Reverend Dr. Ken Langer is currently the minister at the First Church in Barrie, which is a Universalist church in Barrie, Vermont. Before becoming a UU minister, he was a college music professor for over 20 years. He's a composer and the author of several books on spirituality and the arts. And the link to his website was on the email that Eric sent out this week. And now let us begin our service with our prelude with our wonderful music director, Nancy.
Good morning and welcome to the Fall River Unitarian Church. And as Richard said, I am Ken Langer, and I am so happy to be back here again, although it's on Zoom once more. But we will plod along. Our chalice lighting today is by Tracy Bleakney. And she writes, this chalice burns with twin meanings. The first is for those who seek and defend the right to a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, so that each person may live according to conscience in a democratically elected society. The second is for the defenders of freedom, working against those who would impose their own religious beliefs on others through intimidation or legislation. May we tend this fire always, ever vigilant and courageous in the struggle for freedom and justice for all. With these words, we light the chalice. Our first hymn is number 121, We'll Build a Land. Please join me in our joint. Should we wait a second? Okay. Please join me in our affirmation together. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God. Are there any announcements?
I have one.
I have an announcement.
Yes. Can I go?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, back porch, including wash tub gym holding down the low notes, will be at the Belmont Club this Friday, 6 to 9 o'clock. Hope to see you. Yeah, thank you.
I wanted to let everybody else know that Bill Zelansky, who is a new minister to us, will be with us next week, hopefully in person. So I know you'll make him feel welcome.
Bill Zelazny used to be the district executive of the Blue Chanting District back when we had the Blue Chanting District. And then when that ended, he became the minister in Newport, Rhode Island, where he's been for the last 8 or 9 years. But he's just retired from that. So he's looking for guest preaching gigs. So we'll see if we like him or not.
Yeah. Actually, we've got another new one coming up after him too. We've got a couple of new ones. So yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else? I think we have a musical selection.
Just in case you're wondering, it's all Irish tunes for St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Our invocation today is by Timothy Snyder. He writes, "Life is political, not because the world cares about how you feel, but because the world reacts to what you do. The minor choices we make are themselves a kind of vote, making it more or less likely that free and fair elections will be held in the future. In the politics of the everyday, our words and gestures or their absence count very much. The symbols of today enable the reality of tomorrow. And is my tradition at my church, I have two short readings for you, one ancient and one relatively modern. Our ancient one is from the book of Proverbs. It says, "When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan." And from the words of Abraham Lincoln, who writes, "Elections belong to the people. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their back on the fire and burn their behinds, then they will have to just sit on their blisters." Let us enter a time of prayer and meditation with this prayer by Kristen Green. We pray for our country's leaders. May they lead with justice and fairness on their lips. May they hold in highest esteem the value of human life and liberty. May they never forget those who elected them, nor those who did not. Many of us are worried, anxious, afraid. Who will uphold our basic human rights? Who will protect us from rollbacks on liberties? Who will lead us through the shadows? Who will remember us? Spirit of life and love, holy presence all around, embrace us with your wisdom and peace. Surround us with reassurance. Fill our hearts with purpose. Empower us to do what is right. May our hearts be expanded as the time comes for us to comfort each other. May our minds be charged with creativity as we find our way forward. May our bodies remain well so we can travel to our capitals or the line at the clinic to escort someone to safety. May our spirits be guided by our values. May our lives speak, be they gentle and angry or loud and clear. May we remain united in our mission as people of faith to connect deeply, grow together, and serve one another. So may it be. Our next hymn is number 157, Step by Step. My sister was born when I was only 3 years old. So, of course, I didn't remember much about that day. I had to rely on what my parents said I was like at that time. When I first heard the news, they say I was not a happy child. I was used to having all the attention from around the house from two people. And who doesn't enjoy a good one-to-one relationship? All the attention was focused on me. All our plans were dictated by my needs. The floor and all the amazing little colorful toys on it were mine. It was my world. Until this other little creature came along. Suddenly the universe shifted, the earth stopped rotating, and those cute little kid songs I adored so much started playing in minor keys. It was the end of the world. This other little creature was now the apple of my parents' eyes. She was the focus of their attention, and now I had to play second fiddle. I was devastated, I was angry, and I was out for revenge. I tried to steal attention away from her. I cried when I was fed second. I acted out when I thought I was being woefully neglected. I pouted when they made those silly little googly faces at her. Eventually, however, my place in the family changed. It was explained to me that my role was to help love and protect this new child because she was one of us now. My place in the clan had not been usurped. It only had changed to adapt to the growth. But it was a tough part to play. At times I was the brave knight who kept her from harm, but at other times I was the evil prince who plotted for attention and revenge. But at a certain age, we just came to tolerate each other because we knew that peace was critical for the overall health and welfare of the clan, as well as for ourselves. By the time she went to college, we became good friends, and we learned to respect each other's curious quirks and bizarre worldviews. And we have remained so to this day. The history of American democracy is not unlike this story of sibling rivalry that has been played out in thousands of families across the world. Through the American Revolution and the start of this new country, the founders spoke of the need for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and how all men were created equal. Implicit in these statements was the reality that they were directed only toward white males with European backgrounds. The new family of Americans who claimed to be part of one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, was male-dominated and white, and those boys had no intention of sharing with the other kids. But the house they built for this new family was open-ended, because the high platitudes it was built upon reached across a wide expanse. Soon people began to ask questions like, if all men are created equal, does that not include the black man, the Asian man, the indigenous man? And does not liberty and justice for all actually include all human beings, male and female, black and white, churched and unchurched, rich and poor? The arms of the American family began to open wide and embraced more and more kinds of people. And the clearest example of this growing awareness is illustrated in the history of the right to vote in this country. In 1789, the U.S. Constitution was ratified. It did not contain instructions for voting, however. Instead, individual states were given the mandate to set up their own regulations. As a consequence, voting was limited in most states to white male landowners. In some states, those landowners also had to be Christian. In 1856, the requirement of land ownership was removed by all states. And it was not until 1868, almost 100 years after ratification, when the 14th Amendment of the Constitution was enacted, which granted citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, regardless of color or status. Native Americans, however, were mostly excluded, and the act did not include the right of those citizens, on any of those citizens, to vote. That right would only come along in small portions. Black men were granted the right to vote in 1870. Women were allowed to vote in that same year, but only in Wyoming. It would not be until 1920 when all women were finally given the right to vote. Native Americans were given the same right in 1887, but only if they agreed to separate from their tribes. That law was updated to allow all Native Americans to vote in 1924. In 1943, Chinese immigrants were given the right to vote. And in 1965, the landmark Voting Rights Act was signed into law and sought to enforce voting rights protections for all citizens. This same history of expanding tolerance and pluralism has been true of Unitarian Universalists. Both of these traditions began as liberal and, one might say, heretical denominations of Christianity. The Unitarians preached against the concept of the Trinity and argued that there was only one God who loved all equally. The Universalists preached against the condemnation of people through punishment in hell. A loving God, they claimed, would never allow his children to suffer in eternity. By the end of the 20th century, the age of enlightenment took hold, and both traditions began to be influenced by the wisdom of other religious texts and practices. The Bible was not seen as the Word of God, but as the texts of wise and prophetic men and women who tried to make peace and sense in a difficult world. Further influences such as the transcendentalists, the humanists, the influx of people with many different religions, and postmodern theories, among many other things, led to the development of a Unitarian Universalist pluralism, symbolized by the single living flame that can warm the hearts of all people, regardless of who they are. Indeed, the long arc of history bends toward justice. Just as our flaming chalice is the one symbol that stands for the many and varied people who join together in covenant and in compassion to hold and support each other, so does the election box stand for the right of a free people to choose their own government that will hold and support all its people. Elections are the defining act of democracy, the right of all citizens to vote without intimidation or restriction is as sacred as any religious commandment or doctrine. It is the bulwark that protects us from tyranny and autocracy. And that is the reason why those in power in this country and others throughout the world want to restrict and control elections. In this country, there have been claims about the corruption and insecurity of our election process, all which have been proven to be untrue time and time again. These cries ring out when a particular candidate does not win an election, but are suddenly silenced when that candidate wins. The system appears only to be broken when some people lose. In recent months, our current government has requested voting data from states in order to try and disqualify voters, and is trying to pass a bill that would make it more difficult for large numbers of people to vote. As midterm elections draw closer, there is even more that has been threatened. What could be done to control the vote? Well, ICE could be deployed near voting sites with their masks and guns. Federal officers could be directed to stop vote counting for some odd reason. And if the votes of even one city are impounded for any reason, that entire state's elections cannot be certified by law. If the currently proposed law requires people to show passports or birth certificates to vote, then the government can slow down the process of getting those documents in time. These are just some of the many ways that voters can be intimidated or discouraged from voting, and this is especially true, of course, for all minority and marginalized groups of people. But perhaps the most terrifying method of election control by an autocratic government is the one that has been used successfully in Germany, in Turkey, in Russia, in Hungary, among other places. And that tried and true method is to either cause or to seek advantage of a perceived national crisis, then declare a national emergency so that presidential powers can then dominate the government, including its elections. Elections might not cease altogether, but there will be no fair and equal choice for the people, and I am afraid that such a tactic will be employed in this country in the near future if it isn't already in motion. The fact is that claims of false and rigged elections have been proven to be untrue multiple times by multiple courts and multiple investigations. Elections in this country have been historically some of the most well-run operations of any country. There are already a multitude of safeguards in place, and each state is committed to open and fair elections, regardless of its dominant political population. It is already the law that non-citizens cannot register to vote, and instances of fraud have been incredibly small. In our Unitarian Universalist history, our churches developed a covenant to help and support each other in tough times. As people of this country, we are also in covenant to support each other through the election of representatives who will defend our rights and help us meet our needs. Just as we could never condone the abuse or destruction of any sacred text or restrict others from engaging in their own spiritual practices, so too must we never allow elections, the most sacred act of our democracy, to become defiled, debased, or destroyed. In the name of that which you hold in your heart to be most sacred, may it be so. We are a free church, which means that we depend on work and contributions of our members and friends to maintain our ministries. To those who need support, and to continue to offer a liberal religious perspective. Let us now offer our gifts for the sacred and important work of this community.
Think of this as a check writing time.
And I believe this is the time to share any joys or sorrows you wish to share.
I have one. I just wanted to hope that Susan Verge is recovered from her fall that she had, causing her to not be able to meet with the rest of us for lunch. I hope there are no lingering problems.
Susan DeYoung had her hand up. Unmute. You have to unmute.
How's that? Am I there? Okay. I think Susan Verge is with us, Beth. Her name, okay. So, all right. So here's my concern was the Jewish congregation, did they have their services yesterday? Or did they stay away because we have no heat? Does anybody know?
Eric said earlier he thought that they had, but they had a very small attendance. He was there yesterday morning with a plumber. So I think he witnessed their Saturday morning service.
Okay. All right, that's
Tracy.
I'm feeling better for those that were concerned. I think the sunshine is definitely helping me get out of my funk. So, yeah, thank you.
Whenever I hear about women being allowed to vote nationally in 1920 for the first time, as I'm sure you're tired of me saying, I succeeded Olympia Brown as the minister of the Weymouth Church, and she was not only the first woman minister in New England, she was she spent her last years fighting for the vote, and she finally got to vote in 1920. Okay, and she also got to vote in 1924. She died before the election of 1926. But the thing that moves me is in 1920, this very smart, capable woman was allowed to vote for the first time, and she was 85 years old. 85 years old.
Wow. Hi everyone, this is Susan Verge. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I'm
Yes.
doing just fine, thank you. Yes, all my boo-boos are healed. And I'm trying to learn to be graceful again. But thank you for caring. Did you all get to hear that? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday.
Well, that's what church is all about.
Jump in for
Supporting one
second
another.
here, just to say that the
Jim,
first
start.
hymn
Jim, start over, will you?
Okay, I jump in for a second just to say that the first hymn seemed a little ironic about we'll build a land when we're busy blowing up as many buildings and facilities as possible. And what can I say? We're just one of just like every great power in history, that's what they seem to do, is tear things down somewhere along the way. So that's it for me.
Anyone else? Our next hymn is number 109, As We Come Marching.
As we come marching, marching in the beauty of the day, a million darkened kitchens, a thousand workshops gray, are touched with all the radiance that a sudden sun discloses. For the people hear us singing, bread and roses, bread and roses. As we come marching, marching, we battle to for men, for they are women's children, and we mother them again. Our lives shall not be sweated from birth until life closes. Hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread, but give us roses. As we come marching, marching, unnumbered women dead go crying through our singing their ancient song of bread. Small art and love and beauty, their drudging spirits new. Yes, it is bread we fight for, but we fight for roses too. As we come marching, marching, we bring the greater days, the rising of the women means the rising of the race. No more the drudge and idler, temple that one reposes, but a sharing of life's glories, bread and roses, bread and roses.
Our closing words are by Jane Malden, and she writes, as we enter another week of uncertainty in the world, let us remember that there is only one side, that of humanity and planet Earth. May we pray for peace. May we raise our voices with our elected officials and engage as we can in acts of resistance and may we remember to take very good care of ourselves, each other, and all those we love.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ken. Eric put something in the chat. New circulator pump is installed. That's why he was with the plumber there yesterday morning and is working fine. Electrician is next, hopefully complete by Monday. Hopefully we'll have heat yet again.
Good news.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Susan?
Oh, I didn't. I think I laughed. I think I giggled. So,
So, yes, I appreciated your sermon too, Ken. Thank you very much. It was well done.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch for next year.
Yeah, I'd sure like to see this guy in person.
I
I
know,
don't
huh?
really have a body. I just have a head that floats there.
Head and shoulders. That's all he's got.
That's all I got.
I think this is the fourth time that Ken has preached for us. The first time was
During COVID, I
no,
think.
no. The first time we had a heat problem, so it
Oh, it
became,
was heat then too. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't COVID.
and then the second time was a snow problem.
I
Oh,
think you guys are just trying to tell me to change my deodorant or something.
I don't know. You even brought a guest once, so we like it when you come in person.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some others I can bring along next time.
Oh,
So I know
do.
you want me to come so you can see them. I get it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we appreciate the insight that you share with us.
Yeah.
Your inspiration.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Mm.